So last month we saw a big blockbuster in Avatar, The Way of the Water, Babylon, Violent Night, and I Wanna Dance with Somebody being the main attraction for moviegoers in December of 2022. So now that we're out past the new year in January 2023, we're kicking off with a pretty low-key selection of movies. Friday the 13th is upcoming upon us, so we definitely are seeing an influx of thriller and horror coming out this month. It's not an insanely packed month, it's not really a blockbuster heavy month, but there are some bangers that are releasing throughout the month, so here are some of the movies I'm looking forward to this month. As always, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you give this video a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and at the end make sure you comment below any movies that you're excited to see in 2023 of January. Let's go to the video. Now, first movie I'm very interested in seeing this month is Megan. When I first saw the trailer to this movie, I was like, we haven't seen a doll-based horror movie in a while, and it was only a matter of time before we finally got one. Bringing in Megan. I think this may be the most Gen Z-centered horror movie to date, a new age Chucky, if you will. Megan is a doll that's powered by artificial intelligence that's supposed to make the doll close to being lifelike. The doll dances, holds full conversations with people, and is designed to be a play companion. Now, this movie is rated PG-13, so I don't expect anything too grossed out or gory, but I do anticipate a very more than interesting horror movie. This doll is supposed to be given as a companion, a play companion, when all else gets all creepy and this doll starts acting out, killing people, and talking back to the parents. So, interestingly enough, this movie is releasing on January 6th, coming out in theaters. So Friday the 13th is coming in, and this movie has got to be one of the movies on my radar, and it's called Plane. Snakes on the plane ran, so Manifest can spread its wings and plane can soar. Let me stop with the plane related humor. This movie stars Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter and is an action thriller movie based on a pilot saving passengers on a plane that gets struck by lightning and landing on some war-torn island, and the passengers end up getting taken hostage by the inhabitants of the island. This movie seems interesting. I don't know how much of a thriller aspect I get from the trailer, but I definitely see this being somewhat of a solid action movie. The plot seems interesting, and seeing the trailer and seeing how hostile the inhabitants of the island get as soon as the passengers of the plane venture the island is kind of wild. So this movie releases Friday, January the 13th, and it's definitely a must-see movie for me. House Party. So when I first saw this trailer, I thought that this was gonna be a Netflix special right off the jump, and not a lot of comedies are releasing throughout this month, but this one did stand out though. So this movie stars Jacob Lattimore and Tosin Cole. The trailer of this movie shows two best friends who are looking to go from lowly house cleaners to club promoters. They end up getting a cleaning job at LeBron James's house, to which they end up deciding to plan and throw a whole party at his house. After Space Jam, LeBron really was like, I need more movies about me. So to be honest, I'm extremely thrilled to see this movie, I guess. I'm not too sure, but it does seem like an interesting movie to fill the time, and it is a comedy. Not a lot of comedies are coming out in January, so this one does stand out. I think it's going to be very tough for this movie to move tickets in January, as it could have benefited from the December holiday rush, but it'll hold its weight. I think it'll do solid, and I think it's going to be a solid comedy movie. Next up of my most anticipated January releases that I want to see in theaters, we got the movie Missing. So this is the movie that I'm actually the most excited about this month. The trailer has been in theaters for so long, and it had no release date for the longest. It is coming out on January the 20th. This movie stars Storm Reid, you may know her as Gia from Euphoria, and Nia Long, and it's basically about a mother who ends up traveling to Colombia for a brief, relaxing vacation with her new boyfriend, only to be kidnapped and then eventually go missing. It is up to the daughter to investigate where her mother was disappeared to. She even reaches out to the FBI to help her with the search, coming to find her mother has some interesting, suspicious history herself behind her. The trailer for this movie was so suspenseful, and I'm really excited to see this in theaters. Again, this trailer came out for the longest, and it always just said coming soon, but finally we got a release date, January the 20th. This is actually the most excited movie I'm interested in seeing for January, so I can't wait to see this movie. Infinity Pool. So the trailer for this seemed very, very eerie, and it's okay to get weirded out by the trailer because I myself was very weirded out, but we go into the land of science fiction thriller with this movie. A seemingly wealthy couple is basically on a vacation until they are lured outside that wealthy island bubble and are faced with scenery and a culture that is very violent and horrifically awful. An accident seems to happen and the main character gets arrested, but in this island they have like zero tolerance policy, and whoever commits a crime automatically gets sentenced to death. So the movie plot seems so bizarre that I am actually excited to see this. This movie releases at the end of January. It releases January 27th, 2023. So this next movie on movies I'm excited to see in theaters for January 2023 is called The Devil Conspiracy. So this trailer actually drew me in, and I was actually pretty interested to see what this movie was about. According to the trailer, The Devil Conspiracy mixes science and DNA with religion and terror as we have a supernatural thriller hitting theater. This movie takes it to a whole new level. The trailer immediately starts off talking about the War of Angels and how Michael defeated Lucifer and bound him to hell. Basically, there's this company that's in charge of replicating DNA of powerful people around the world and using that DNA to clone these powerful people. So the people behind this company are super satanic cultists that steal the Shroud of Christ, which apparently contains Jesus' DNA, and they use this shroud as an offering to the devil, which prompts the angel Michael to then come back to Earth to prevent these events from happening. So this movie seems religiously bizarre, but hey, we got a religious-centered supernatural thriller on our hands, which should make for a decent and standing out movie. So this is actually another big movie that I'm excited to see that's coming out in 2023, and it's called Alice Darling. So there's this big thing going around on social media right now asking if it's appropriate for a girl to invite their boyfriend to girls' night, and then this trailer comes up and it represents just exactly that. If you didn't know, my favorite genre is psychological thriller, so interestingly enough, we have a psychological thriller releasing in January. So, this movie is an AMC exclusive, and it's about this girl who gets invited to her friend's birthday celebration that's located in this cabin, and they're planned to stay at this cabin for a week, just celebrating her friend's birthday, group of friends, just out in the cabin, just celebrating. She half-heartedly agrees to go to celebrate her friend's birthday, but seems paranoid in telling her boyfriend about the trip, so she lies to him, claiming it's a work trip. He's like worrying about her, saying like some shit like, what am I going to do without you, and stuff like that. And during this whole trip, she's like paranoid about him finding out, so she then says she has to leave early. She loves him and that she needs to go back, and then all of a sudden he just ends up turning up on the cabin. He ends up putting like missing posters and stuff like that around, just trying to locate her. It's a very odd and creepy movie, but this movie is slated to release January 20th. I dig the plot, I dig this movie, I love psychological thrillers, so this movie is going to be psychologically thrilling. So yeah, the release of this movie is January 20th, exclusive to AMC, and I'm very excited to see this. And for my final movie that I'm actually interested in seeing in theaters this month, January 2023, it's called When You Finish Saving the World. And now Jesse Eisenberg, most of you know him from playing Mark Zuckerberg on the popular movie The Social Network, is making his debut as a director in this movie. From the trailer, this seems like just one of those cheesy coming-of-age comedy movies, but you know, I'm not mad of it. There's a lot of thriller coming out this month, so you know, it doesn't hurt to have a coming-of-age movie come out this month. It stars Finn Wolfhard and Julianne Moore. This movie is basically about a high schooler who sings to his social media followers, but just has this hard time like navigating a relationship with his parents as he tries to go after this intelligent and socially aware girl at his school. His mother, who connects so well with the kids at the shelter she works at, also has a hard time just having and building a solid relationship with her kid. And so it sets up this scenario where they're both having struggles just connecting with someone. Finn Wolfhard's character is having struggles connecting with this girl he's trying to get to school. His mom is trying to connect with him, but is also having struggles as well. This is an interesting, just coming of age cheesy movie. It seemed interesting just from the trailer. It's just one of those lighthearted movies that you know that's gonna have a good ending, hopefully. But yeah, this movie is slated to release January 20th as well, and I'm very excited to see this movie. That is all for movies that particularly stood out to me that I'm excited to see in theaters this month, January 2023. You know, there's a whole bunch of movies coming out, but these are the kind of ones that stood out to me as being ones I'm most interested in. I'm actually going to make an attempt to see all these movies as well, and I'll let you know what I think of these movies at the end of the month. It's Friday the 13th, so a bunch of horror movies coming out this month, thrilling movies coming up this month with a sprinkle of comedy here and there. So thank you all for tuning into my video. Thank you all for tuning into my channel. Make sure you give a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for the support again. I really appreciate all the support that the channel is getting. Shout out to one of my friends. His name is Rocco. He has a Twitch channel and he's been doing his thing on Twitch and also supporting my channel, so shout out to him as well. Turn on post notifications and all that. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see y'all in the next one.